Hello students, how are you all? Hope you're fine. So today we are going to begin with our next topic, that is the journey to the Great Oz, Unit 3. Kindly remove your textbook, page number 52. Now children, look at this picture. Now this is Emerald City. Just imagine, have you seen any such kind of city which is green in color? Just wonder. Have you seen such kind of animals? The colorful animals having such kinds of colors? Think about it. So yes, this is really an imaginary story full of fantasies, and these are our characters. Now you will wonder, the topic given is the journey to the Great Oz, and this, what is written here? The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Now our chapter, our extract is being taken from by this novel, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by Lyman Frank Baum. And whatever we are going to read about today or understand, or the extract will drive us to the world of imagination and full of fantasies. It is just a part of it. Now this journey to the Great Oz, it was a classical novel for children. It was written by the Lyman Frank Baum. The classical novel was also made into a movie. From this, the movie was being made, and the story takes you to the world of the fantasies of witches, wizards, monsters, and magic, where one imagines the impossible, where you just can think anything. You can think impossible. So these are our four characters, that is the Dorothy, her dog Toto, and the Tin Woodman, the Scarecrow, and the Lion. So let's move ahead. The journey to the Great Oz. The Wizard of the Oz is a well-known fantasy of the children's literature. Now, children, fantasy means what? It is the imagination which deals with the magic. So the fantasy of the children's literature, it tells the story of Dorothy, that is our main character. Still there are more characters, but it tells the story of Dorothy, who is whisked with her dog. Whisked with her dog means what? What happens when we move around quickly, okay, and then we know that where we want to go. But here it is said that when we move something without any warning or without any, that is the quick commotion or the quick movement, that is known as whisk. And the literature is the whatever is the written work about the children, about the children's story. That is the literature here. Whisked with her dog Toto by the cyclone, that means they are driven by the cyclone to the wonderful land of Oz. There she meets the Tin Woodman who needs a heart. Now she meets whom? She meets the Tin Woodman who needs what? Who needs heart. The Scarecrow who needs brain, and the Cowardly Lion who needs bravery. They all want to see the Wizard of Oz, the only person who can help them. There's an account of a part of their journey to the Emerald City, as we saw earlier. That was the Emerald City, where the wizard lives. Then they had said that read the Wizard of the Oz to find out what happens next. So the Wizard of the Oz was being written by Lyman Frank Baum, and he has written many other books about the Oz, and the classic novel was also made into the movie. So they had made this novel into the movie. In the story revolves around the Dorothy and her dog Toto, who are carried out by the cyclone to the land of Oz, and there she meets uh, the character that is the Tin Wood Man, who needs a heart, and then the Scarecrow who needs the brains, and the Lion who needs bravery, and the one who can fulfill their needs, who can fulfill their wishes, is the Wizard of the Oz, and uh, and then they are moving towards and then their journey begins. So the four travelers begin their journey, soon there soon we can see that there is a ditch, and so we'll move along with the story and we'll find out what is exactly stored in for us. So these are the four characters. The lion, cowardly lion. Now he cowardly lion needs what? He needs, yes, the bravery. Then we have what? Tin Wood Man. Now Tin Wood Man needs what? Needs heart. Correct. Scarecrow needs what? Brains. And then there's Dorothy and the dog Toto. Now this was to be an eventful day for the travelers. They had hardly been walking an hour when they saw before them a great ditch. Now great ditch. Now in the opening sentence, they had said what? It was an eventful day. Now eventful day means what? A very wonderful memories when you have, that is known as a eventful. So, um, so this day was full of the memories, wonderful memory, and they had hardly been walking an hour when they saw before them a great ditch. Ditch means a long, shallow kind of depression that crossed the road and divided the forest as far as they could see on the either side. It was a very wide ditch, and when they crept out to the edge and looked into it, they could see it was very, very deep. Now, how the ditch was? It was very, very deep. Now, the opposite of the deep or the antonym of the deep is shallow. So it was very deep, and there was many big jagged rocks at the bottom. Now, what do you mean by jagged rocks? Jagged means what? Very, very uneven rocks which are being cut and which are pointed kind of. If someone falls, one can get hurt or one can die also. Jagged rocks at the bottom, and the sides were so steep. Now see how the sides were so steep that none of them could climb down for a moment, and it seemed that the journey must end, and it was as though the journey is going to end. What shall we do? Asked Dorothy despairingly. Now here, what do you mean by despairingly? Now when a person gives up the hope, that is known as despairingly. So here in this stanza or in this extract, uh, the D- Dorothy, our character, she's asking that what should be done in a very sad tone. I haven't the faintest idea. Faintest idea. Now see, when a person speaks in a very uh, low voice and he is not confident enough, that means his sound is very weak. At that time, you say it is faintest. So here I haven't the faintest idea, said the Tin Woodman, and the lion shook his shaggy mane and looked thoughtful. Now, shaggy means what? See, lions have what? Lions have long, rough, and thick hairs. Now that is known as mane, and even the lion was very thoughtful, and he was thinking that how the ditch will be crossed, and the mane means the long hairs on the back of the neck of an animal. So here that animal is the lion. But the scarecrow said, we cannot fly, that is certain. Of course, the scarecrow said, we cannot fly, that is certain. neither can we climb down into the grey ditch. Now everybody was wondering what could be done then if we cannot fly, nor we can climb down the great ditch. So what can be done? What is the solution for this problem? Therefore, if we cannot jump over it, we must stop where we are. So he said, instead of moving ahead, if there's no other option, why don't we stop here? I think I could jump over it, said the cowardly lion. So here the first person who could answer was the cowardly lion, who required what? Who required the bravery. After measuring the distance carefully in his mind, then we are all right, answered the scarecrow, for you can carry us all over on your back, one at a time. I will try it, said the lion. Who will go first? So the first person was so the first character was the lion who said, yes, I think that we can cross. And then the scarecrow, he also said yes. And then the lion inquired, he asked that who will be the first person who is going to come along with me. I will, declared the scarecrow, for if you found that. Now here in this extract on this paragraph, here the scarecrow said, yes, that I will. So he said, I will, declared the scarecrow, for if you found that you could not jump over the gulf, Dorothy would. Now here he was thinking that, see, I don't have any heart, correct? So if I am dead, it's okay. If you found that you could not jump over the gulf, Dorothy would be killed or the Tin Woodman badly dented on the rocks below. But I am on your back, and it will not matter so much, for the fall could not hurt me at all. So he said, as I'll be on your back, so I can hardly be hurt, so I'll be the first one who will come along with you. I'm terribly afraid of falling myself, said the cowardly lion. But I suppose there is nothing to do but try it. So get on my back and we will make the attempt. So he said, don't get afraid. Just you come on my back and then we'll make the attempt. Attempt means we'll make a try. We'll give a try. Attempt is to give a try. And the scarecrow sat upon the lion's back and the big beast. Now here they said that the beast. Now what do you mean by beast? Now see, a beast is a very scary kind of the animal. So here they said about the beast. And now see, when they were talking that how will they cross the gulf, whenever there is a deep opening or a gap in the ground, usually we can call it as a gulf also. So here the scarecrow sat upon the lion's back and the big beast walked to the edge of the gulf and crouched down. Now crouched down means what? Crouched down? He bent down. That means he was able to jump, and then now after bend down, he could go and reach there. Why don't you run and jump? Asked the scarecrow. So here the scarecrow said, why don't you run and then jump? Because that isn't the way we. Now here he was giving him here he said that, why don't you run? That means the scarecrow suggested that you should run and then jump. Now the answer or the reply given by the cowardly lion was that, because that doesn't the way we lions do these things. He replied, then giving a great spring, like a spring he jumped, he shot through the air and landed safely on the other side. So he landed safely on the other side. They were all greatly pleased to see how easily he did it. Everybody was amazed, was happy also. And after the scarecrow had got down from the lion sprang across the ditch again. So once again he came back, and the Dorothy thought she would go next, so she took Toto in her arms and climbed on the lion's back, holding tightly to his money with one hand, and the next moment it seemed as if she were flying through. So now see, in this extract we find what? That the first one who was that was Scarecrow, and the second was Dorothy along with the Toto in her arms. One arm with one arm she was catching the money of the lion, and with the one arm she was holding the dog Toto. The air and then before she had time to think about it, she was safe on the other side. Now, now even she was safe. The lion went back a third time and got the Tin Woodman. So lion went back how many times? That was the third time. First time it was what? Yes, come on. Anyone? First time the scarecrow. Second time Dorothy along with her pet dog Toto. Third time it was Tin Woodman. Okay. Lion went back a third time and got the Tin Woodman, and then they all sat down for a few moments to give the beast a chance to rest for his great leaps. Leaps are the jumps. The higher jumps are known as leaps. Great leaps had made his breath short, and he panted like a big dog that has been running too long. That means he was so tired of his activity that he lay down as if like a dog was taking a rest. So here we find that they all three were able to cross the ditch, and now see, if we see various characters, lion was, first of all, he was very scary. Okay, he wanted what? Bravery. But here, by doing all this kind of activity, jumping from here and there, do you think that lion was really now having bravery in him? Okay, so we are going to continue the rest story in the next part, that is the part 2. I hope you all have understood till here the story very well, or the introduction very well, and hope you like my educational video. Kindly like it and subscribe it. Thank you, children. God bless you all.